Hello, greetings. This is Gillesmansillon. I wanted to wish you a good day. For today is a day where Mars is coming into the sign of Virgo, and Mars, this powerful planet of will. For Mars wasn't a warrior planet at the beginning. It's just become like that when he was invaded by warrior spirits after the destruction of a planet named Maldek. For a lot of things I'm talking about here may make some people very defensive, because it's like it's opposing certain of their belief, and man is afraid of what he does not know, what he doesn't understand. And so here I'm talking about very openly about all those things of the spiritual realm and the cosmic galactic history, but I'm going to be soon be called to take more responsibility in the physical plane and societal to find a solution for the greatest good of all. And I'm going to be able to go into the mainstream media, mostly in France, and I'm going to have to tone down all those messages so that I don't make anybody afraid of that. Yet my responsibility is to open the mind and heart of people to connect to that possibility of finding this salvation. And so, for we are all source energy beings. We are divine beings of light. All of us, no matter where we are, no matter who we are, no matter what, where we stand, what our beliefs are, we can never change that one part that we are made from God, and the God is our true essence and source. Yet in this physical plane, we are the sum of our thoughts, our words, and our action. Everything that is experienced here is the sum of our words, our thoughts, our words, and our action. So we want to work with our thoughts to purify our thoughts, so that we have mainly positive thoughts, and we can empower them with positive emotion, and that gives us a buffer zone, a time of reaction, before we can produce words. For words are very powerful. Words can be used to hurt people, or they can be used to bring information that elevates them. So be careful with your thoughts, be careful with your words. Be kind with your words. Sometimes we need to open a way, we need to break down a barrier, but do it in a way that is diplomatic. Put on gloves if necessary, so you don't hurt people's sensitivity. And then the actions is just another buffer zones between the words and the action. If we're sincere, our thoughts will be aligned with our words, which will be aligned with our actions. Sometimes we think something and we say something else. We say something and we do something else. We want to align those three energies. Very important to do that as much as possible, to be sincere, to be in alignment with ourselves. The more we are awakening ourselves, the more we are able to awaken others. That's the only way to change the world, is to awaken to the truth within, and to open yourself to the wisdom that is available once we are awakened. I'm going to pull 10 cards from the Dakini. We have essentially the same cards that they came out in French, but in a different position, configuration. The situation is the woman of wand. The woman of wand is she senses things behind the veil, behind. She can sense. It's an increase in intuition, an increase in sensation, an increase in psychic power. We're able to sense things a lot more. So trust your feeling. Trust your feeling more than the rationalization around the feeling. When the situation around that situation, the energies around the situation is narrowness. So there's a great deal of narrowness, limitation. And so we have to accept the limitation. We do not want to create more limitation, but we want to accept the temporary limitation. They will soon pass. For now, what we see in our conscious mind is the guardian. The guardian is elevating ourselves above the emotion, above all the confusion, above to stay in clarity, to stay in this diamond. The diamond, the consciousness is a diamond. It is this principle of harmony that we all have, this principle of harmony, and we want to make this diamond shine. And this principle of harmony has to grow each and every day to become eventually eternal and infinite. It is our consciousness. For all that is real in the planet is consciousness. The physical matter is not that real. It is changing all the time, and so it is just a vehicle for the consciousness to evolve and grow. And so we want to be able to elevate ourselves above the chaos and above the turmoil of the changes. What we have in our subconscious, in our soul in our past is the chariot. The chariot here is Apollon, is the Lord of wisdom, the Lord of light, the Lord of the arts, and it is the public recognition of a success. So it is success that have already been manifested on the energetic level, and now it is going to be manifesting on the outer level. It's about transcending the limitation and moving forward. Gate, gate, paragate, parasham gate, bodhisattva. It is the mantra of that card. It is about moving forward with the enlightenment. For I know that it's like I feel like sometimes I'm like the Buddha. I'm like I've ascended into the higher plane, into the nirvana of being, but I'm not free to explore those higher planes just yet. I have to continue to stay here as a bodhisattva in this world in order to guide humanity towards their own enlightenment and their own freedom. So it is a mission of service, and more this physical body is going to turn into a bioplasmic form. So all kinds of magic and miracles that are happening. So it is all about this progressive evolution, and we trust that the light of the sun is bringing in new code to activate this bioplasmic light within all our cells. The water is being elevated. And so be grateful to the sun for that which it does. And the card of the day for now, what we are, is the star. The star here is the goddess Kuan Yi. She's like represented as the white jade Buddha. The white jade Buddha in traditional Buddhism is the father of all Buddha. It's the first source and center. Here it is following your star, following you have a guardian angel, even if whether you know it or not. This angel is always looking after you. You can communicate. He or she is the go-between. The whole spirit world is the minister of all the communication that happens. And so it is also the card that talks about a dream that comes true, a manifestation of something very positive, very beautiful. What comes up in the near future is the courage. We have increased. When we can increase our courage, automatically we have more lucidity and we have more compassion. Courage, the best way to express our courage is to address our fear, is to address our bad habits, is to address our negative function. The more we are able to perfect ourselves, the more courage we have, because if we're trying to perfect ourselves and we do not have enough courage, we do not succeed. So it's about developing. The more compassion we have, the more courage and lucidity, and the more lucidity we have, the more compassion and courage we have. Those things work together until, for the Buddha, has achieved great courage, great compassion, and great lucidity in relationship to mankind. But it's very short in courage, compassion, and lucidity in relation to the truth. For God is infinite courage, infinite compassion, and infinite lucidity. He has the courage to become all the darkness just as He is the good. He's sharing all the suffering of the world, yet He is always in an eternal bliss, eternal. And he's got the compassion to accept this suffering as a temporary process to bring the soul into enlightenment, and because of that is infinitely lucid. So the Buddha is growing into integrating the darkness and the light. This inner Buddha we have within ourselves. We have the inner Christ, we have the inner Buddha. We're all one, we're all part of the one. And so we want to develop this courage, this compassion, and this lucidity, and find new strengths. As we confront our fear, we find new strengths. Who we are in this situation is the learner, the child of crystal. So it's like opening your hands to this learning and understanding you're just a child. Do not judge yourself. You're just a child of the universe, a child of God that is beloved. And so just let your inner child has to feel secure and safe in order to be able to express its joy and play and recreate its reality. What we have coming in the outside world is setback, is delay. Do not let the delay distract you from your goals. For sometimes the delays are necessary in order to achieve stamina, for we have to accept that we are mourning. When we move from the third dimension and trying to go into the fifth dimension, we have to let go of so many things that were comfortable in the third dimension, but we cannot take with us. So we have to let go of those things, but it's like we're losing something very precious that we had in our life, and it's like we have to mourn that. We have to do this period of mourning. It's like letting go of some friends that we had that were like habits or whatever, and so we let go of those things, and we feel very sad because we have this temporary loss, and so we say, well, the new is coming, we know something better is coming, but nothing is coming, so we return to the old, and it is a process until we know that it is all coming on the energetic level, and then when we realize that, we can afford to wait for the whole all things, once we let go of the resistance of receiving that which we ask, what we have asked for, then it comes. What we feel in our inner emotion is equanimity. It is connected to the guardian, what we see inside ourselves. It's about being to be unshaken by emotion, to be stable, to be still, to elevate ourselves above the confusion. And the outcome will be illumination. There is a great illumination that is coming with this end of the year. There will be a great deal of empowerment and illumination. It is like putting your hand on a light. A great deal of power. So the more power we have, the more freedom we have, the more responsibility we have as well. For there are true freedom and false freedom. There is and so we'll discover that, but there is certain freedom because we're created so free. We can do all kinds of negative things with this freedom, but once we align with this wisdom, we want to do those things that are free, yet do not entrap us in the for this instant gratification, so to speak. And so the area we have to work on in terms of illumination is harmony. It is about dancing with the dance, to be one with the dance, to be harmonious, to find balance and harmony. And for now, to stay focused on this neutrality, this emotional neutrality. And so I wanted to speak about the idea that we are connected. We are moving to the edge of screens. We have to connect it to screens. The internet is wonderful. It is opening the world. It is non-localized. It's just to communicate throughout the whole planet and get all the information we need just within the safety of our home or within those little machines. And so there is a great function, and I'm not criticizing of the internet. We have to live with our time. It is an essential tool. But I also see that on the streets that people are more connected to their cell phone than to each other. They're completely indifferent of what's going on around them. They have those things that comes out of their ear, and their vision is connected. They're so polarized into that. I grew up in a time when there was no internet, there was no cell phone, and we were always connected to the world around us. So it's not. So it's about finding the balance, utilizing those tools, but not being zombified in a way, to be polarized, hypnotized into this. For there is. It's okay also when you say that it's fine to buy books and clothing on the internet, but they want to tell you that it's okay to buy anything through the internet, like buying a house, just seeing a photo of a house and buying the house from the photo, or buying a painting and just buying the painting from the photo. For buying a house, it's not very wise to buy a house from a photograph. If you want a movie, you want to see the whole situation, or move into the house before you do this acquisition. Same thing with a painting. Painting is, but if the painting is less of a risk, but still, as a professional art dealer, I would never recommend you buy from a photo, because sometimes you see a photo, you find, and then you find your physical connection to the piece, and the piece looks very different than what you expected because of the light of the photograph. And so on Instagram, for instance, I've been showing a lot of my paintings, but very soon I'm going to move back into photography. I'm going to buy some professional cameras, and I'm going to make some very specific photography. I'm going to return to photography. I'm going to continue to paint, of course. But they also wanted, they have this, everybody seems to say that it's the same thing. And now the culture and the art to sing on the internet is the same thing as going to museums or galleries. It's not the same to see a picture on Instagram or on the internet, to see a picture of a painting, or going into a museum, or the contact, the emotional connection between the actual piece is completely, the dynamic is completely different than just seeing a photo. Of course, it's wonderful, and the internet is an essential tool to all communication, all business. But when you buy a painting or you want to buy a house, you want to expect the merchandise. It is the same thing with love. They have the tendency to say it's far safer, it's much better and more reliable to find your partner, your mate, through a process of going through those dating sites, but it doesn't. It's not really. It's like if you shop for love, you're gonna find a bargain. You're gonna find something that's okay, but it's not gonna be true love. Love has to come from the magic of meeting somebody, and so inspect the merchandise. Do not let because. it's being on Instagram and single, I've got like many women that contact me like every week, many of them, but it doesn't go very far. They're like, it's like shopping for love doesn't work for me, and it's like those communications through screens is just not the same as when you look somebody in the eyes and there is this magic that is happening. I'm not going to do everything is okay, everything is connection, everything is one, but it's just a personal standpoint that I feel like. So just make sure always do due process if you're going to invest in a house or a car or even find love. Always never engage yourself until you fully investigated what is the truth of the situation. Do not make a quick deal. I was speaking about the Mount Meru. Mount Meru is a mystical mountain. It is not a volcano in Tanzania. It is a mystical mountain in northern India that is invisible, but that is connected to the inner earth and the upper plane, and it represents the center of the universe. It is a spiritual mountain. I also wanted to say that to speak about the power of the symbols. Well, there was one symbol I want to sort of talk about is the symbol of wisdom. The symbol of wisdom. The symbols are keys that open doors to higher truths. Everything is locked within symbols. Those higher truths can only be discovered through the power of symbols. Where I utilize a lot of symbols in my art. And the symbol of wisdom is a symbol is a Y with 2 points on top of each eye. For this, the two eye, the divine and the human, is the communication, the oneness of the two. And it's also the symbol of a great powerful starship named the Athena. It's an Arcturian ship. So. And so the sutras in Buddhist and Hinduist mythologies means wisdom. Just as the Kama Sutra is the wisdom of desire, the Dharma Sutra is the wisdom of the divine law. For there is great wisdom that's been revealed through the old text of historical text. Yet we always have to turn to the inner guidance to confirm the validity in relationship to our own path. Understand there is nothing that can surprise God, that can shock God. Your inner self, your higher self, your inner spirits, this God self knows it all. It's seen it all. It's done it all. There is nothing that is new to God. And so they will just be bold, be courageous, do not be afraid to explore. For because if we do not act, then we'll never know. So we have to take the first step. We have to make the first step. I'm going to pull 4 cards. I'm expressing those thoughts and ideas. I think, it's the same cards that came out in French. Amazing. I mixed them. You see, I mixed them, and there's 78 cards, 72 cards, and they're all 78. And they're all exactly the same. Wow, amazing. Although they're in different positions. The highest wisdom for us today is revelation. It's about allowing this revelation that we reveal outside and inside to blend in, to follow this life, the higher consciousness, the higher truth can only come through revelation. It won't come through reasoning. What we need to understand is healing. It's about finding this wholeness, finding this naturalness of life. What we need to do is action. We need to act, to do the right action. And the outcome is doubt. So doubt is okay to doubt, but once we receive the information, we should not doubt it. We should comfort ourselves in this knowing. And once we confront the doubts, we find intuition. For it is okay to take our time, but the time will create setback, delays. And so once we stop doubting, we start believing, then we can move forward. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I also wanted to speak the 2 little ideas that also I bring as a conclusion. The first one is I was jogging yesterday around the hippodrome, and there's a lot of wonderful trees. They're like so magnificent. They're like, and I couldn't help but stopping, and I hugged the tree. And when you hug a tree, you said I am, and you said your name. So and I said I am Gillesmansillon, and I said you're so beautiful, I love you. Please give me your love and connection to the planet and your connection to the sky. And I felt for when you say I am and your name, the elemental in the tree can connect with the elemental within you and recognize you, and you create this synergy of energy. And I felt the connection to all the neighboring trees and to all the trees in the earth and all the trees in the universe. And it's like the trees are universal beings. And even the smallest tree is bigger than any man. It's more anchored into the earth. It's bigger and is connected more to the sky. Trees are magnificent beings and they're so intelligent. They are the keeper of the Akash. For all trees communicate with all other trees on a frequency that's beyond human consciousness level. And whatever happened in the world, there is some trees that recorded it, that communicated the information to all the other trees. And so they are the keeper of the Akash, the memory. And there are some trees that have seniority. They've been here for so long that I couldn't help. Sometimes I was continuing my jogging and I saw this tree is so monumental. I had to touch it and say, wow, please help me in grounding myself. Help me in developing this tree of wisdom to expand into the sky. And they were like, and everything is like... So trees will be understood and will be respected, for there are trees that are interdimensional gateways. There are trees that have thousands of years, like the redwood trees and the oaks, and there are some very, very old trees. But even the young trees are like, they're magnificent. And so we want to respect the world of trees. And then finally, I wanted to speak about the monad. The monad is very important to understand that we as a soul, we are divine, eternal spirit. But we are connected to a family of spirit. When we were created in groups, and these groups is in the 8th dimension, 8th density, above the realm of the individual. We have connected, and this monad is influencing the flow of our life. So it is never ourselves, just the soul is connected to the cosmic mind, the great one. But it's always surrounded by the intelligence of this collective group energy. For monad is a word that was invented by a philosopher, 17th century philosopher named Leibniz. Universal philosopher, brilliant spirit. He was invented the binary system. He also he was calling himself the attorney of God. He was explaining the divine law. God does not need an attorney or defense. God is God. He can do anything he wants to. But it was the intention of wanting to be the presence of God and in relationship to men, so to bring them back into this alignment. And he discovered this understanding of the monad. Monads are small groups of beings. Sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 9. So you're all connected to a spirit group. For us, we are 5. We're only 5 in our group. We are the 5 star point. And, and we come from the North Star. So it is reconnecting to some of my friends up there. This monad, we're very much connected to those spirit groups, and so once we will feel this reconnection, we'll feel whole. We'll feel this wholeness. For the wholeness is achieved from we achieved this 5th and 6th dimension, this galactic plane. Then we become an ascended master on the 7th dimension. We become the eye of God anchored into reality, and then we move through a portal of infinity and move into this collective soul energy. That is the monad, and then on the 9th dimension, we align the plans of the soul to the divine plan. I'm going to sing a song to finish. This is a portrait. It's a portrait. It's part of the portraits I did this year. It's like I think she's quite finished, and there's like this little scene on the left. So some of those portraits will have to be revised because the eyes are not really so perfect. It's really difficult. There was a painter named Modigliani who was one of my favorite 20th century painter, with a lot of portraits. And he used to not do the eyes at all. He said, until I can see your soul, I cannot paint your eyes, because the soul are the windows to the soul. And so I may have to revise some of the eyes. And this is a painting, a cosmic painting about the Milky Way galaxy, the great galactic center, and then there are billions of civilizations and star systems in our Milky Way. We don't realize that we are connected to this greater whole, this greater connection. We have to elevate ourselves above it all, and then we can start seeing. We are spiritualize all those magic. It's so beautiful. In truth, the universe is so beautiful. It's just we haven't connected to these higher parts yet, but it is coming. So be patient. I finished with a song. It's called "I Will Follow Him." Originally, it was like following the Christ, following Jesus. But what I think we have to do is the best recommendation is to follow your inner guidance, your inner God, your inner spirit. For that it is fully aligned with all the higher spirits of the universe. And I'm not saying that to follow the ways of the Christ or the ways of the Buddha or the ways of the Quran. All those things are perfectly aligned with the spiritual path and ascension, or whatever spiritual branch you're following. It's just the branches of the same tree. All those things are just different branches of the same tree. And so to follow your heart, follow your deepest feeling, what makes you feel good is what you want to follow. It goes like this. I will follow him. Follow him wherever he may go, and near him I always will be. For nothing can keep me away, he is my destiny. I will follow him. Ever since he touched my heart, I knew there isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away from his love. I will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away from his love. Follow the love, follow the heart, follow the voice of the heart, follow the yellow brick road. Well, thank you very much for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. The central road, the central path that is in between the dark and the light. Do not be just, if you can stay in between, you will be able to blend and find an easier path, even if it's a narrow path and it's an ascending path. So it's like we have to climb up the mountain, this narrow road. It's fully okay. And wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. So much is going on that I cannot talk about right now. The card of the day is the nun or the monk. It means keeping your energies together. Do not disperse your energy at all. As much as possible. Do not just keep your energies together. Just follow your heart. If your heart tells you to do something, do it. It's not about being celibate or whatever. If your heart calls you to enjoy romance, just do it. If your heart calls you, all the material passes, the monks have separated themselves from all material things. I'm not saying it's about that. It's about being abundant and prosper and filling in within your own past life, your life, the past of your life. But it's about keeping the energies together, not to disperse your energy, to be sometime in a saving mode, to just breathe in the light and the love and accumulate, and so the spiritual energy will concentrate within yourself, and you have far more power to act when you are called to do so. Well, I hope this message was meaningful for you. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.